I've made a lot of videos over the years, hundreds of videos actually, where I've talked about why women do certain things, what you can do with them, what you can't do with them, how to keep them, how to get them, how to lose them, their whole ideology and mentality. But throughout all those videos, I don't think I've ever broken it down to a very simple level. Once you understand this fundamental rule that I'm about to explain to you, you will never really misunderstand why a woman does something ever again, because they always will operate fundamentally on this rule. Today, basically what I'm going to be discussing is how to understand women at the most fundamental level possible. Now, what you should understand about women, and never forget, is that every woman is composed of two main characteristics: ego and biology, or for a simpler term, wants and needs. To give you an example of things that affect a woman's ego or her wants, look no further than the love languages: physical touch, acts of service, gifts, quality time. All these things are ego-based, meaning they only focus on how the woman feels about herself. So love languages are based on ego, and ego is just one half of a greater whole. Now, to pivot to her needs or her biology, these are examples that affect a woman's biology: assertiveness, leadership, dominance, financial security, the physical capability to protect, physical attractiveness, height. A lot of these things, as you can see, do not affect the woman's ego, but it's more based on her biological triggers. Now, as I mentioned earlier, a woman is comprised of those two traits, ego and biology. Now, what you must understand, and never forget this on a fundamental level, is that a woman's biology, her needs, will always be more important than her ego or her wants. Why? Because the biology is her physical makeup. These things are coded into her DNA. Her need for protection, her need for security, her need for a leader. These are things that are coded into her. So those will always be more important than any type of ego-based desire that she can have. Now, the problem with a lot of men today is that they focus on a woman's wants or her ego versus her biological needs. The reason why that is very simple. Men are simple creatures, and we respond to what is said. If you say something, we believe that is what you mean. Women do not operate on that level of reality. They operate based on feelings, emotions, hormones, time of the month. There's a bunch of different factors that affect a woman's speech. So what she says is almost never what she truly means. And the reason why this is, once again, is because of the factors I just listed. Now, here's the problem. When women talk about things that they want, they only describe things that are ego-based. I want a man who listens. I want a man who pays attention to me. I want a man who gets me gifts. I want a man who spends time with me. I want a man who cares about my problems. All that stuff. That's all based on her ego. It has nothing to do with her biology, as you can tell. Now, why do men focus on this? Because it's vocalized. Women speak about the ego wants. They don't speak about the biological needs. Think about it. When's the last time a woman said, "Hey, I need you to sometimes tell me when I'm being stupid. Hey, I need you to tell me to shut the fuck up sometimes. Hey, sometimes I need you to just pick me up and carry me to the room and fuck my brains out." A woman is never gonna vocalize that. Why? Because that is not socially acceptable, for one. For two, saying that is a bit too direct, and as we've already discussed, women are indirect. And three, if she feels that she has to tell you that, that takes away from the value of it and how it satisfies her biology. So there's so many ways or so many reasons why she will not tell you what she needs, but she will never shut up about what she wants. Now, as a man, how you should deal with women in general is always address their biology before addressing their ego. What do I mean? I mean that in the last 100 or so years, men have started to focus more on a woman's wants or her ego. So you'll find that a lot of times a man will do everything that the woman asks, and she'll say, verbatim, "He was perfect. There was nothing wrong with him. He just didn't do it for me." Why did she say that? He was perfect. He met all of my wants. He just didn't do it for me. He didn't meet all of my needs. Very simple. So when a woman says you're a nice guy, anyone would be lucky to have you, it means you'll meet any woman's ego. You'll give any woman what she wants. But the reason why she's not claiming you for herself is because you do not have or have not showcased the capacity to meet a woman's needs. And as we discussed what needs are, assertiveness, leadership, dominance, financial security, physical prowess, and the capability of providing protection. Those types of things you have not exhibited. So a woman will say, there's nothing wrong with you. You're a great guy. But the reason why you're not a viable sexual candidate is because you don't meet any of her biological requirements. Now, this fact also explains why you'll find that a lot of times in relationships, when a man says, I've done everything that you asked of me, I've done everything that you wanted, yet you're still unhappy. I don't know what you want. So instead, the man is now left at a loss because the woman can't even articulate what she wants, because it's not about what she wants. It's about what she needs at this point in time. So you'll notice that a woman will give you a list of things that she wants you to do. You do all of those things, but instead of the list being complete, the list just keeps growing. She says, okay, now I need you to do this. Now I want you to do this. Now I want you to do that. Now I want you to do that. And the list never ends. The reason why it never ends is because you're looking in the wrong direction. You're focusing on satisfying her ego. And the thing about an ego is it's never satisfied. Biology is though. When biology has its needs met, it's satisfied. So instead of looking at what she says, focus on what she needs. Now, just to paint an even clearer picture and give you a better example, think of two men. One man is a gentleman. He's a nice guy, does whatever the woman wants, does whatever she asks without question. He's just there for her, always supportive, always listens, always gets her flowers and gifts and all that stuff. Right? That's the first guy. The second guy, he's not nice. He's an asshole, does what he wants, doesn't really listen to the woman's wants, but he satisfies her sexually and he is pretty masculine. Right? Those are the two guys. Right? Now, in one scenario, the gentleman guy, guy A, he is walking down the street with his girl and a random dude smacks her ass. The guy A, the gentleman, he's like, oh my God, that's terrible. But he does nothing. And he just keeps walking with his girl. The second scenario, or guy B, same thing happens. Guy B punches the dude in the face. Now, based on guy A's behavior and guy B's behavior, who do you think the woman would be more attracted to? The guy that is a gentleman but did nothing in her time of need, or the guy that is an asshole but did something in her time of need? If you guessed B, that's correct, because at the end of the day, all that nice lovey-dovey love language bullshit doesn't matter, because when rubber meets the road, can you protect her? Can you take care of her? And if the answer is no, then you're never, ever going to get the full availability, the full openness, the full connection with the woman, because she's unfulfilled in what she needs. Now, I do want to be clear in saying that just because the needs are the most important doesn't mean that you neglect the wants. There is a delicate balance that must be achieved. Now, every woman is different in the percentage of wants versus the percentage of need that they need to be okay. But here is a good rule of thumb. For the more feminine women, they only require about 20% of want and 80% of need. Why is that? Because the opposites are what make the relationship work. She needs a lot of her biological needs met because she is so feminine. It's supposed to be the yin to the yang. So her wants are not as important because all of her needs are being met. So that is why feminine women usually look for a more masculine man. Now, let's say the woman is more masculine, more modern. Then it's split. So instead of it being 20% wants, 80% need, for a more modern masculine woman, it would most likely be 40% want and 60% need, which is why you'll see that a lot of modern women have relationships that they stay in longer than necessary because 40% of all the wants are being met, not much of the needs, but not enough for her to dissolve the relationship. So she'll be unhappy as a modern masculine woman, but she won't really know why, whereas a feminine woman would know exactly why. The needs aren't being met. The modern woman won't know because she has a new outlook and thinks that men and women are equal and thinks that she doesn't have any needs to be met. As long as the wants are met, that's good enough. But what she doesn't realize is the biology always wins. And the biology is going to tell her, hey, we're not getting what we need from this guy. Because of that, we're going to make you unhappy. Now, I just also want to be clear by saying that you do not have to meet every single want and every single need of a woman. You can, but it's not necessary. And the reason why is because then you become too perfect. And as much as the ego is second to biology, there are certain points when the ego overrides her biology. And you being too perfect or meeting all of her wants and all of her needs can cause this override, meaning she can't handle the fact that you are doing everything correctly, and she will sabotage the relationship herself because she believes that you're too good for her subconsciously and she doesn't deserve you. So she'll sabotage the relationship and then regret it later for years to come. But that is why you can't do everything right. You have to show some type of neglect, some type of flaws, because if you complete all of her needs and all of her wants, then it puts the burden on her to be good as well. And most women can't handle that. So you gotta fuck up from time to time just to let her know, oh, okay, he's not perfect. And that makes her more relaxed instead of less. Now, I just wanna close out by saying that you need to find out the woman that you want's percentage in terms of her wants or her ego and her biology. I'm gonna be honest, most women today are gonna be modern women, masculine women, meaning that their wants are gonna be in the high 30s to high 40s, and their needs are gonna be in the 50s to 60s. So you gotta make sure to balance it. But masculine modern women will always vocalize their wants, but they will never vocalize their needs. You have to know what they need implicitly. Once again, these are traits like being dominant, being assertive, telling her to shut up, fucking her brains out, telling her no, setting a boundary, taking care of her physically, looking physically attractive, having financial assets or resources. These are the things that are affecting her biologically, and you need to have these in spades, these character traits. Because if you don't, and you just focus on her wants, she will be neglected, she will be unhappy, and she will either cheat on you or just flat out leave and say, you did everything right, I just don't know why you didn't work out for me. And do you really want to deal with that? I doubt it. That's it for today, guys. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm King's Wisdom. Got merch, link in description. You're welcome.